Hello, I am Mac, at least for a day, and everything is going to be okay. I wanted to do a quick Waking Titan 1.5 report. A lot has been going on during the week. The ARG hasn't been like normal where we only get stuff on the weekend. We've been getting little bits of information and events to do throughout this week. So first of all, at 2:15 Central Time on Monday, July 18th, Sleeper Yoonha's memory blocks number 1 and 2 were activated. We had been doing the picture event where we had to take pictures of things from Yoonha's memory in order to help her become more willing to help us, and we submitted those pictures, and now we are able to have discussions with her on the Uplink app, and people did the first 2 conversations. I'm not giving a lot of information about what the conversations are because, one, you can do them yourself. If you go to the Myriad dashboard, activate the conversation, and it'll take you to the Uplink app to go through each dialogue option and such. But also because I can't do them myself because the dashboard doesn't work on PS4 and I don't have a PC or a smartphone. There are some things I can do. The Uplink app does work for me, but the Myriad dashboard doesn't. So I will put a link for the Myriad dashboard and the Uplink app so that you can do those conversations yourself. I will, however, give you the answers to them right now. So if you don't want that spoiler, then stop the video now and do the Yoonha conversations and try to get her code answers yourself, figure them out yourself. But otherwise, I'll just give you the answers. But even if you do take the answers and put in the codes to complete the memory blocks, you should still do the conversations, because at least if you're really into the ARG, you need to do those conversations with the dreamers so that you get to know what they're like. Well, I'll get to why in just a minute. But anyway, the answers to the first 2 Yoonha memory blocks are Citizenship and wristwatch. Citizenship, well, I won't tell you anything about the conversations because you can do them yourself. But the answers are Citizenship and wristwatch. Then at 3:00 p.m. Central Time on Tuesday, July 19th, Loop 16, the Loop 16 command on WakingTitan.com updated to say, new guidance protocol initiated, keyword liability. And what that means is you can go to the Satcom Uplink app and put in the word liability, and Emily will have a conversation with you, and she basically explains that we are trying to save all 12 dreamers. However, we may have to make some tough choices. And she doesn't really elaborate what that means, but I take it to mean we may have to choose who to save and who not to save. We want to save everybody, and I don't know if it's going to be possible or not to save everybody. But the fact that the keyword was liability, that makes me think that certain dreamers are going to be liabilities, meaning that they're a threat to the success, and we may have to choose to let them go in order to save the other people. I hope that's not the case. I hope there's some scenario where we can save everybody, but we have to be ready for the possibility that we're going to have to decide who to save and who not to save. That's why I was saying it's important for you to get to know each dreamer character, because Emily says the same thing. You need to get to know them well on a personal level so that you can maybe make those hard decisions someday. So yeah, it's kind of worrisome. And then later that day at 6:30 p.m. Central Time, Tuesday, July 19th, sleeper Yoonha's memory block number 3 activated. And so you should also do that conversation. But spoiler alert, I'm going to tell you the answer to that conversation. It is thunderstorm. So those 3 codes, Citizenship, Wristwatch, and Thunderstorm, are Yoonha's passwords. I think that gives her 100% completion. It's kind of funny, I believe we finished, we finished Yoonha's then, and I think we finished, what was the other guy's name? What was the first guy's? Philip. We finished Philip's, I believe. And now we finished Yoonha's. But I guess they haven't been disconnected yet. So I guess maybe we have to 100% complete all of them. And then we'll be able to start disconnecting them safely from the Where system. Not sure how that's going to work exactly. But that might be part of the problem. If there's certain people we can't save, or certain people that we can't complete their passwords, their memory blocks, then we may have to leave them behind and just save the rest. But anyway, so we've got those 2, Philip and Yoonha, 100% for now. And of course I told you about the number guy, the guy that has the number that appears at the beginning of the game when you start No Man's Sky. He or she, their memory blocks are already at 100%. I think somebody said that it just automatically went to 100% even though we didn't do anything. But I think their data is still fragmented and stuff, so I don't know what that's all about. Not sure. But anyway, then the next day, Wednesday, July 20th, at about 4 p.m. Central Time, the status command on wakingtitan.com said, attempting to connect Dreamer 1 of 1 to the dashboard. And then later it said that that Dreamer was successfully connected. So we have a 4th Dreamer. We had Yoonha, Philip, and the number person. Now the 4th Dreamer is Alexander. Alexander is, I should say Philip was a pretty young guy. I think he's in his 30s. He's a father. He's married and he's a father. And then Yoonha is also like in her 30s, I think, and she is a Korean immigrant to America. And then Alexander, he is an 80-something-year-old man, I think 87 or something like that. And the problem is that he has Alzheimer's or some kind of dementia. So that's making it a lot more difficult to solve his. Like when you have the conversations with him, he will say a lot of contradictory information, like he's forgotten, like he'll forget what he just said and stuff like that. So his conversations are a lot more cryptic, and it was a lot harder for people to solve what his passwords were. But I will give you the answers, the 2 answers that we've gotten so far. We haven't gotten his 3rd memory block yet, but his first 2 memory blocks have unlocked, and we just finally solved both of them. But you should go ahead and do his conversation. Go ahead and do that now. Stop the video and go do that if you don't want it ruined. But I will warn you, you will have to do both conversations to figure out... Well, actually, I'm not sure. I think you probably can figure out the code from each of them. But anyway... Okay, so if you don't care, or if you've already done the conversation, the answer to the first code... Well, I think they can be in any order. I think you can enter the codes in any order, because the code I'm about to give you is the first one we figured out, but I think it's actually the code for the second conversation. Anyway, the answer is prosopagnosia. That is spelled Prosopagnosia. And that is a name for a condition of not being able to recognize people's faces. It was really difficult. People figured this out from the second conversation, that he has trouble recognizing people's faces. So the answer that they got from that was that he has prosopagnosia. So that is one of the codes. And then today, Thursday, June 21st at 3:20 p.m. Central Time, we got new the loop 16 command on wakingtitan.com updated again to say new guidance protocol initiated, keyword nudge. And I'm going to read through what that one says because I did it myself. I am able to do the ones like that because they're on just the phone app. You don't have to go through the dashboard to start them. I'm going to put heat shield on just in case. I can't tell if it's raining or not. Okay, yeah, it is. Okay, so if you go to the SATCOM app and put in the word nudge, and yeah, I think this came because we couldn't figure out the second password for Alexander. You put in the password nudge, and Emily says, initiating nudge subroutine. Hi, it seems like you need a hand. What seems to be the problem? And then you can say, can you help us with Alexander's second memory block? And Emily says, sure, what do you want to know? And you can say, did Alexander talk to you about anything else? Emily says, not to me, but he often talks about the night sky when he's alone. And then you can say, did you notice anything weird about Alexander? Emily says, not really. He kept sniffing the air like he was looking for a specific smell. Then you can say, what's the deal with the uneasy Barton text? You might remember that was with the... it was on the Myriad status page, uneasy Barton. I read through it in my last video. It goes, it starts out, uneasy Barton, seeing remark his has, am possible offering at contempt, and so on. You can go to the Myriad website and go to the status page to get all of that text. So if you ask her, what's the deal with the uneasy Barton text, Emily says, what do you mean? It seems pretty normal to me. And then you can say, did you put it there? And Emily says, maybe. And then you can say, what is UDC? UDC is on both the Myriad page. I believe I mentioned that. There's a new physical backup node that there's a new physical backup node that instead of being called gamma or another Greek character, it says UDCP in parentheses. And so you can ask her, what is UDC? And Emily says, I don't know. It sounds like gibberish to me. I know that UDC and then B in parentheses equals IXNI. I wonder what UDC parentheses P is. And then that's all the things that you can ask her, and then you can say, I'm good for now, and she says, all right. So there's a lot of hints there. She basically focused us in on what you need to look at in the Alexander conversations. You need to look at the part where he talks about something in the night sky and when he talks about a smell. And then the other stuff I'm not sure about. You can ask her about the uneasy Barton text, but she says that it seems pretty normal. And if you ask her if she put it there, she says maybe. So why is she... I don't know, it's really mysterious why she's making reference to that. I don't know if that means we're supposed to be able to solve it yet, or if it's just something that we can't use yet, but is going to be involved later. Not sure. And then the UDC, I think that's something we're supposed to solve, because she says UDC parentheses B equals IXNI, and we got that information somewhere. I forget where that part was. Was that, I think that might have been on the, yeah, that was on the uplink app. Like when you go to help, yeah, when you end help, at the end of the help, I think I put it in my notes somewhere. Oh, well, when you type in help in the uplink app, you can talk to Emily a bunch, and then when you say I'm done, I don't need anything else, it ends, but first it says UDCB in parentheses equals IXNI. So it seems like that's some kind of clue as to what UDCP is. But no one's been able to figure out what IXNI means or what. It's very odd. Huh. Oh well. Anyway, so people were able to figure out the second password for Alexander thanks to that. Like somewhere in his conversation he mentions burnt hay. So since Emily said that he kept sniffing the air, we know that burnt hay was part of it. But he also kept looking at the night sky. And in the first Alexander conversation, he also mentions seeing a red dot in the sky. And so Polyphemus on the Atlas Citizen Science Division forum figured out that it was Betelgeuse. I guess Betelgeuse is a star that is slightly red in the night sky. So the password is 4 words, burnt hay and Betelgeuse. So that's the other password for Alexander. And that is the last conversation and password entry we have for Alexander yet. We still have one more, and it's going to come tomorrow, the 22nd, Friday. So that is the next thing that's going to happen, and who knows what else is going to happen this weekend. A lot more stuff usually happens on the weekend, and we'll definitely be getting another hint to the No Man's Sky update this weekend, because we know the elements on the Myriad dashboard, if you look at the source files, they are called weekly rewards. So we will be getting a weekly reward every weekend as long as we keep solving the puzzles they give us. So we've been solving everything, so we will be getting another file of some sort. I don't know if it'll be a hologram or a screenshot of, or sorry, a concept art or something like that, but we'll definitely be getting something this weekend. So that's it. Remember, Alexander's 2 codes so far are prosopagnosia and burnt hay and Betelgeuse, and we will be getting his 3rd and final conversation tomorrow, the 22nd. And sometime this weekend we will get a new picture for something from the No Man's Sky Next update. So that does it for this Waking Titan 1.5 report. I have been Mac. Thank you for joining me for a day. Oh, I forgot to mention, we're starting to get some foreshadowing that there might be something wrong with Emily. In her more recent conversations, especially with Alexander, she seemed to be getting really impatient, and she also tried to create thunderstorms in her simulation with Alexander. And in his first conversation, Alexander mentions being afraid of thunderstorms, and then Emily tries to put thunderstorms into the second simulation. So almost seems like she's being mean, or she's trying to force memories out of people, even if it means scaring them. And other things she said made it seem like she was being impatient with Alexander. And then it's also kind of confusing that she said maybe when we asked if she put the uneasy Barton. So there's maybe some foreshadowing that something's wrong with Emily, or maybe she's not as nice as we thought she was, but I'm not sure if that's anything yet. We'll have to wait and see. But anyway, I have been Mac. Thank you for joining me for a day, and remember, everything is going to be okay.